Hello. In this video, I'm going to be talking all about changing the energy of a space, a room, or your body to impact and influence your own energy, which impacts and influences your life. This is also known as Feng Shui. And to illustrate this principle, I wanted to show you a place which I feel has very good, beautiful, harmonious energy, which is in my local park, a pretty big park actually. There's a few parks near me, a place where there's a waterfall, where there's hardly any people, and it's very clean and fresh. And I feel like, and I know that there are certain areas which the energy is very different to other areas. So for example, in a waterfall, by a lake, by a mountain, there's often not very many people coming through, and it has more of a quiet kind of feel to it, a more wild and relaxed feel to it. Whereas other areas, like in a busy city, it can be very hectic, and you start to absorb some of this energy. And some of this is placebo, it's in the mind, but some of this is actually real and it affects you. And there are many Chinese Qigong masters, for example, who will not do certain workshops in certain places because they don't like the energy, and it won't enhance the practice of the students, and it won't affect the retreat very strongly. So now that I've mentioned that, actually I want to give you another example. Is that maybe 6-7 years ago, after practicing a lot of Qigong, I started to make healing art, intuitive art that had the power to heal myself or others. And what I noticed is that when I put these paintings in certain places, that my mood would change very significantly, my energy would be impacted. But if the painting wasn't there, I didn't feel the same feeling. And so upon traveling to different art galleries where I was trying to exhibit, or I was actually exhibiting, I would experiment with standing near different paintings and seeing how this affected me. And what I'd noticed is that paintings have power sometimes, and they can influence someone's energy very strongly. And it's the same thing as Qigong masters who put talismans, like Chinese symbols, in different areas of the room, because it has the power to affect energy. And so I wanted to briefly share this principle, maybe to plant a seed in your mind in which you think to yourself, what can I do to improve the energy of the place that I spend the most time in? What can I do to improve the energy of my life? And to begin with, I'm going to say the most meaningful things, and start out by saying that if we tidy up our rooms, tidy up our houses, the space that we spend our time in, this has a very big impact on the energy of that space. You will feel much more relaxed and find it easier to get into a still state of mind without clutter. And if you're hoarding a lot of stuff, like a lot of clothes in your room, then I advise to maybe throw it out. So that's tip one. Another tip is that when a space is too dark, it doesn't always have good energy. So maybe you want to open the curtains, let some sunlight in, or let some artificial light in even. Even on a cloudy day, you can impact the room very well. And maybe too much sunlight is not good, but most people should get more sunlight. And in the same way, if you open the window and get some fresh air, this can also improve the energy of the space. Another thing that is slightly related to this is to use incense. And I recommend only doing this for 5 or 10 minutes. and using incense such as sandalwood, sage, or rosemary. And this can really clean and purify the energy of the space. So what's that so far? That's minimalism, tidying up, using the sunlight, using the fresh air, and incense. Another tip is that if you use peaceful music in a certain space and let it just play for an hour or two, it can really influence the energy of that space. So I recommend music like the guzheng, harps, didgeridoo, drum, piano, anything that has a very harmonious, peaceful and grounded, relaxed feel. It can really strengthen the energy of a space. Another tip I want to suggest is that if you have art in a room, it can impact the energy of the room with the energy of that art. So in the same way, objects can enhance the energy of a space. And you have objects given, like gifts that have been given to you from other people, this can be really beneficial for you. And another tip is that the clothes you wear can have a dramatic impact on your energy and your well-being as well. So this can mean that you decide to wear clothes like linen or hemp, or even just deciding to wear t-shirts or shirts that have colors that you like and patterns that you like. So for example, animal patterns like a lion or a dragon has very strong and powerful energy, or a bear, whereas maybe a turtle has very relaxed energy. So these symbols can have an impact on our own energy. And another tip is that colors can dramatically affect our mood and our energy too. So one thing I like to do is to walk in the park and to see a lot of green every day. And green has a effect on the liver, which is related to emotions like anger and jealousy and frustration, impatience. Also related to emotions like kindness, love and giving. And so if you have colors in your room which are beneficial for you, like white or blue, not too many mixed colors, and you take care of that sense of color, then this can have an effect on your energy. Another tip I want to share with you is that you can meditate and practice Qigong in a certain space to influence the energy of that space. And you want to combine this with actually having a good space. But practicing a lot of meditation in the space can lift the energy of a space. And maybe setting a Qi field can be done. But this is a more advanced thing that I want to add in there, just as an interesting side note. So when you have intentions of love and thoughts of kindness and harmony, this influences the energy of a space.